you ask anybody what the most important thing to learn about bushcraft or backpacking or camping, it has to be fire by friction. So today I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so here's a bit of standing deadwood from a willow. This is a perfect piece of timber for my half board. There's a nice piece of girth on it, so this will be the beginning of my fire drill set. Okay, so here we have the piece of timber. All it needs now is for me to just cut it down in size a little bit, split it, and that's the half board done. Okay, so now I've just chopped this down to a sort of manageable size. And the next thing to do is to split this log in half. So I just need my knife. Okay, so now it's been split in half, but effectively two half boards there, so I'll just pick this one, and what I'm going to do now is just split it again so it's a bit more square, and then that's ready to go. Okay, now that's done, I've got my half board. The next thing I need is my spindle. What I'm looking for is a cylindrical piece of branch, probably from the same tree. That'll be perfect. Okay, so I've got myself a piece of willow that was actually from the same tree. This was up in the tree. You don't want to pick anything off the ground. This has to be standing deadwood. It's about the right diameter, but what I'm looking for to make the spindle is I'm looking for the straightest piece in this section, and I want it to be about that length. I'll cut out a section of this, and that's my spindle ready to go. Okay, so now there's my spindle ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to strip the bark off all the way around. Feels a little bit damp in places because it's been raining last night, so that may hinder the process slightly.
Once the spindle has been stripped, you'll need to lightly bevel the end that will be in contact with the hearth board. At the other end of the spindle is where the downward pressure will be applied. We need to make the surface area here much smaller.
Okay, so that's the spindle ready to go. The next thing I need is a bow and a piece of paracord, and then my set is ready. Here we go. I found a piece of deadwood that's quite strong. You don't want anything to be too bendy, and the length of it, probably the length of my arm. And what I've done is I've tied a piece of paracord there and cut a notch in that end of the paracord. So that's ready now for bow set.
Now with your knife, gouge a small indentation into the hearth board. This is where the blunt end of the spindle will sit. Now you'll need to make yourself a bearing block. It's simply a piece of green wood with a hole in it, and this allows me to apply downward pressure whilst bowing. And now it's time to place the spindle into the paracord. Make sure that it's tightly wrapped around, and then place into the indentation you made earlier. Now with the bearing block you can apply downward pressure. Bow from the shoulder and keep your arm straight. Make sure you use the whole length of the bow. Take it easy at first and slowly increase the speed. Friction from the spindle will now begin to burn into the hearth board. This is where you'll cut your V notch. Don't make the notch too wide, otherwise the spindle will slip out when you start bowing.
I've split the board, just make it a little bit slimmer so that when I put my foot down on it, I can keep it really still. Okay, so I've got myself some tinder here, which is just some dry moss that I collected earlier before it started raining. And now the bearing block and the bow, we're ready to go. I put a piece of birch bark under here to catch the ember. So what I'll do is I'll start off just in first gear, just gradually allowing the spindle to bed into the board, using the whole length of the bow.
After a little effort, an ember will appear on the tray. Place it into the tinder and blow gently, as if you're whistling into it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ramblers Fair. If you want to find out more, simply subscribe below, or alternatively, get yourself a copy of the Comic Book Guide to Botany, or follow me on Facebook. I'll see you next time.